Hello, Blythe, Evie, Joe, Jack, Callum, Cadence, Lucy, Orion, and anyone else who's listening. Welcome to Story Time. Today's story is Busy Bumblebee Rides the Waves. It's written by Carol Hare Moore and illustrated by Michael Harrell. This is a book that my sister Mary Alda sent to me because she thought I would like it. And Carol Hare Moore is a friend of Mary Alda's, so she autographed the book for me. Isn't that great? It says, Busy Bumblebee Rides the Waves, Carol Hare Moore, illustrated by Michael Harrell. And you can see on surrounding the title, there is something called a finger sponge here. This is a scallop shell. This is a Florida lightning conch. This is coquina shells, and this is the bumblebee. Carol Hare Moore dedicates the book to my loving father-in-law, W.T. Moore Jr. He taught us all to love Saint Teresa. So you can see all the different animals that we will experience in the book. There's the finger sponge, the coquina, the scallop, the common octopus, the lettered olive shell. Joe, you love those, don't you? And the turtle. Now this is fascinating. This is where Mary Alda lives, and it's also where your Uncle Pat has a house too. And it's where Lucy visits every summer. I don't think she was able to go this summer though, with her mom and all of her family. This is St. Teresa Beach, and Mary Alda has a house somewhere along here. This is the Moore Cottage where the bumblebee starts. This is Alligator Harbor, and this is Alligator Point. And Pat and Mary Therese have a house somewhere around there on Alligator Point. So the story begins. There once was a little bee named Busy Bumblebee. He lived on the Isle of St. James at St. Teresa Beach, Florida. You know, Lucy's mother's name is Amara Teresa, named after St. Teresa. Pretty cool, huh? So, one beautiful summer day, he was flying from flower to flower in Nana Carroll's colorful garden. See, he's flying from rose to rose and dahlia to dahlia. It was a cool, breezy day. He was having a wonderful time as the flowers were full of nectar. Let's see if you can get a full picture of that beautiful illustration that Mr. Harrell has done. He flew down by sparkling water and landed on a piece of driftwood, see? Away he sailed. Suddenly he realized he was at Alligator Point. He didn't know how to get back to St. Teresa. Busy Bumblebee began to cry. So see, he landed on this driftwood and floated, and there's Alligator Point. And Mr. Octopus popped out of the water. Can I help you, Busy Bumblebee? Mr. Octopus exercised his 8 arms as he spoke to the little bee. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, and he wants to help Busy Bumblebee. Oh, yes, said Busy Bumblebee. I have come too far from home. I need to get back to St. Teresa. Mr. Octopus began to expel ink into the water. and said, I can't help you, but maybe Mr. Scallop can. Oh, so Mr. Octopus is going to ask Mr. Scallop if maybe he can help Busy Bumblebee. Mr. Scallop began to open and shut his shell with a spitting sound, saying, I can't help you, but maybe Mr. Redfish can. So see, there's the scallop shell opening and closing. Look at his eyes. And that's a coquina, and that is a lettered olive shell. They heard a drumming sound. Mr. Redfish was singing joyfully. He told Busy Bumblebee that he would like to help, but he could not stay on top of the water long enough to ride him home. Mr. Loggerhead Turtle might help you, he exclaimed. Do you see the redfish? And do you see how a redfish has like a dot at its tail that makes it look like it's got an eye there? Aren't these illustrations beautiful? The loggerhead turtle is a very special turtle. There are not many left in our world, so we must try to protect them. We do not want to disturb their nests. Mr. Loggerhead Turtle said, Hop on my back and I will give you a ride home. Oh, look at Busy Bumblebee on the Loggerhead Turtle's back. You can see the beach. He's going to take him home to St. Teresa from Alligator Point. They sailed across the water as if they were waltzing to beautiful music. The waters were calm today. Dusk was falling on St. Teresa. The little fireflies were gathering at the dock for their nightly visit. Oh, look at all the fireflies. Look at the fishing boats. The sandbar or the mud flats are showing. And there's the loggerhead turtle going back to someplace up on the sand. And there's Busy Bumblebee. He's getting home. The fireflies, also called lightning bugs, flicker and light up beautiful St. Teresa like a fisherman's cast net filled with sparkling stars. Oh, look how beautiful the fireflies are lighting up St. Teresa. Thank you for my ride home, Mr. Loggerhead Turtle, said Busy Bumblebee. I will be careful to always pay attention to where I am going and what I am doing. Oh, look at the sailboat sailing away, too, and the seagulls. Isn't it beautiful? All the shells. There's a sand dollar. There's more olive shells. Busy Bumblebee's family was very glad to see him. They buzzed and buzzed as they greeted him. Mr. Loggerhead Turtle, Mr. Octopus, Mr. Scallop, and Mr. Redfish had been caring, reliable friends. It's always good to have good friends, isn't it? It is very special to be a caring, reliable friend and help others in need. So look at the scallop, the octopus, the redfish, the loggerhead turtle, and the lightning bugs, the fireflies. The end. And there's a Florida lightning conch. Do you see how they're all there? There's the loggerhead turtle coming from the Gulf of Mexico, and there's the octopus in Alligator Harbor and the redfish. Isn't that beautiful? Now, they explain, Carol Hare Moore explains some of these some of these animals. The loggerhead turtle is the most common sea turtle in Florida, but it remains a threatened species because of habitat loss and drownings caused by shrimp trawls. That means like they get caught up in the net of a shrimp boat. An estimated 14,000 females nest in the southeastern U.S. each year. The loggerhead is named for its large head. Adults weigh 200 to 300 pounds and measure about 3 feet in length. They use their powerful jaws to crush mollusks, crabs, and encrusting animals. This is the Atlantic coquina, found in a whole rainbow of colors below the sand surface at the surf line. And it is so much fun to look for coquina shells when the water comes back and forth at the surf line. This is the scallop. Scallops are a marine bivalve. That means two shells joined together by a muscle and are found in most of the world's oceans. They are highly prized for their food value. Pappy will tell you how much he loves scallops. Most scallops are active swimmers and are the only migratory bivalve. That means they're the only type of animal like that swims. The scallop swims by rapidly opening and closing its shell. Sometimes you can hear a soft popping sound as they open and close their shells. So they travel by doing this. They swim. So that makes them migratory. That means they can go from place to place. This is the redfish, also known as the red drum. Redfish are an inshore species until they are about 4 years old, when they join the nearshore population. The redfish is copper bronze in color with one to many spots on its tail. Average size is approximately 27 inches and about 8 pounds. They feed on crustaceans, fish, and mollusks and live to be 20 years old. They could get to be really big fish. Think about how big a ruler is. That's over 2 times the size of a ruler. This is the lettered olive, and it's found in the sand at the surf line. And it's called a lettered olive because it looks like it has the alphabet on it if you look at it very closely. Maybe Joe will send us pictures of the lettered olive because she has some, and you can see how they've got letters on them. This is the Florida lightning conch, often found feeding in colonies, typically in sandy areas near grass beds. And then this is the common octopus. This was the first animal that the bumblebee met. The common octopus has a unique appearance with its massive bulbous head. See that? Large eyes and 8 distinctive arms. They range from 12 to 36 inches and may weigh up to 22 pounds. They're fast swimmers. They release a cloud of black ink as a defense mechanism, so it can sort of make it harder for any animal that's coming after them to see them. If they lose an arm, it will regrow. Considered the most intelligent invertebrate, it feeds on crabs, crayfish, and mollusks. Wow, it is considered the most intelligent. That's amazing, isn't it? This is the bumblebee. Bumblebees are social flying insects with black and yellow body hairs, often in bands. The soft hair, called pile, covers their entire body, making them appear and feel fuzzy. Bumblebees feed on nectar and gather pollen to feed to their young. They are non-aggressive and will sting only in defense of their nest if harmed. The buzzing of the bumblebee is not caused by the beating of its wings, but rather the vibration of its flight muscles. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? This is the finger sponge, also known as dead man's fingers. Ooh, and it is best left on the beach. And the firefly, or the lightning bug. Do you see them? Fireflies are members of the beetle family, usually brown and soft-bodied. Many fireflies use bioluminescence to attract mates or prey. The light they produce can be 96% efficient compared with an incandescent electric bulb, which is 10% efficient. The other 90% of the energy produces heat. While fireflies are found in many temperate and tropical environments around the world, the firefly's richest region in North America is the 30-mile swath on the Florida-Georgia border in the Big Bend coast of the Okefenokee Swamp. The Okefenokee Swamp is very close to St. Teresa. In some areas, large groups of fireflies synchronize their flashes. In ancient Mayan culture, fireflies were associated with stars. And you know, where we live, not far up in the Smoky Mountains, every June, there's a firefly synchronization event, and it's like the fireflies are doing a light show for us. It's very cool. This is St. Teresa, Florida, found on the Gulf of Mexico and accessed by Highway 98. It has Alligator Point on one side, and it was in 1870, it became a retreat for residents of North Florida and South Georgia. It has no businesses there, and it can't be seen from the highway. And it's about 100 when established in 1870, about 25 beachfront cottages, many which have been in the same families for generations, described as heaven for dogs and children. It is a unique part of old Florida. And that is where Lucy will go to spend summer sometimes. This is Alligator Point, the Southwest Cape, known locally as Alligator Point, and you can see why they call it Alligator Point. It's located on Alligator Spit, a peninsula extending about 4.8 miles westward from Lighthouse Point at the southeast corner of St. James Island in Franklin County, Florida. Alligator Point is at the eastern end of Appalachia Bay, bordered on the north by Alligator Point and on the south by the Gulf of Mexico. It is bordered by several prominent offshore shoal systems, including Dog Island to the southwest and Ocklawakanee Shoal to the east. I don't know that one. Ocklawakanee. Then this is the author, Carol Hare Moore, and she was born in Florida, and she raised her children on the Moore farm just outside of Tallahassee. So she raised her children on a farm, but they have a Moore cottage on St. Teresa. And then this is Michael Harrell, and he's a native of Tallahassee, Florida too. And he does fabulous seascape and landscape paintings. And this is the very last illustration of the loggerhead turtle with the bumblebee traveling on its back. I hope you liked that story. I really loved it. And thank you so much, Mary Alda, for getting this book for me. And thank you, Carol Hare Moore, for sharing your story with us. So keep taking good care of yourselves. Keep loving on each other. Always be really good friends to each other and to others you encounter in the world. And never forget, I love each one of you to the moon and back. We'll be back together for another story time when we encounter another author and another wonderful story. Bye bye.